Yes, so greetings everyone. I hope you all are doing great. And this week, this is fourth class in the row, right? I hope you are not tired. Okay, so see, again, as always, I have come up with a very easy topic again because it's a last day of the week. The name of the topic is direction sense. See, this chapter is very easy, but somewhat or sometime it may possible that you have to use the concepts of geometry. So wherever possible, I'll discuss the concept of geometry, right? And if the concept is very typical, then what we're gonna do? We're gonna wait for Rishi sirs to cover geometry first. Okay? So all the necessary concept I will discuss today itself, and for remaining concept of geometry you can switch to Rishi sir's class. So in future we're gonna consider or we're gonna take that class as well. Okay, and I don't know, it my gut instinct that this year you may get a lot of problems from geometry. You may get. The reason being is because in the last year's exam there were lots of problems from permutation and combination. And a lot of people were making a lot of hue and cry that this permutation combination does not belong to our syllabus. A lot of people were saying this, but geometry is a very fundamental part till 10th class. So it might possible that you will get a lot of problems from geometry. Okay. So direction sense, I feel like we all are aware of this sense from the very beginning. Like when you were 4 and 5 years old, you started going school. In the beginning, your parents used to drop you at your school, but suddenly and slowly you started going to your school on your own. Such kind of things are happening, started happening. Now you know how to come to this class also. You know when to take left turn, when to take right turn, what is the meaning of taking a left turn, what is the meaning of taking a right turn. But still there are few points. One of them is, see, I will take this diagram as a reference for solving all my questions. If from a particular point, if I go forward, it means I'm going east. From a particular point, if I go north, if I go upward, it means I'm going north. If I'm going backward, it means west, and downward, it means south. This is this standard diagram, and with the help of this, I'll solve all the problems. Okay. What else? So we know east, north, south, and west, these are major directions. And what if there is something between north and east? If there is something between north and east, what about this direction now? You will call it northeast or east north. Both is same thing. You can call this northeast and east north. Both of these are same thing. Then same is the scenario for this case also, east and south. Same is the scenario for this west and south, and then finally north and west. Suppose you are standing at a point at origin and you are facing east direction. On this position, if you go clockwise, then after east, south will come, then after south, west will come, then after west, north will come, and after north, you will come back to east again. Basic scenario. Similarly, from a particular point, if you are facing east and from east, you go anti-clockwise. Then first of all, you will face north direction, then west direction, and then south direction, and finally east again. Basic scenarios. I hope you all are agree with this. Okay. Then what about this angle between north and east? 90 degree. Between east and south, 90 degree. Between south and east, west, 90 degree. All these angles are 90 degree. So I can say the angle between adjacent major axes or adjacent major directions, like north and east are adjacent major direction. So angle between adjacent major direction is 90 degree, right? Okay. Now this is northeast, this is southeast, northwest, northwest, southwest and northwest. Similarly, the angle between adjacent minor direction, the angle between adjacent minor direction is again 90 degree. Angle between northeast and southeast is 90 degree. Angle between southwest and this thing, southeast, is 90 degree. I hope this thing is clear to everybody. There is no need to write it down. We are just revising it. It's a very simple scenario. I feel we all know it. Okay. And the next thing is, see, in the morning, sun is in the east direction. So if you are standing at a point, and sun is in the east, then your shadow will fall towards west. Agreed? Okay. And if you talk about evening, if you talk about sunset or evening, you are standing at this point, you are facing west, then your shadow will fall towards east. Done? These are the basic scenarios. I hope we all know it. Okay. Now, so we all are aware of it, but this is very important. Pythagoras theorem. I feel like you know this thing as well. Now, one of the major point regarding Pythagoras theorem is, this is applicable only in case of right angle triangle. Right angle triangle meaningly, one angle of that triangle has to be 90 degree. Right angle triangle. Done? Okay. Now, how to, like in this case, the longest side of the triangle is called hypotenuse. Longest side of the triangle is called hypotenuse. We know this. Okay. Now, perpendicular and base will be decided by the angle of reference. Suppose this, let's say this is point P, this is point Q, this is point R. You are assuming point R as the angle of reference. Your angle of reference is point R, right? Then the side opposite to this angle, will become your perpendicular. Side opposite to this angle will become perpendicular. Side adjacent to this angle will be your base, and the remaining side, C, will be your hypotenuse. So I hope you know how to find out perpendicular, how to find out base, and how to find out hypotenuse with respect to a given angle of reference. Okay. Now, these are the scenarios if angle of reference is angle R. These are the scenarios if angle of reference is angle R. Done? Now, suppose if my angle of reference is point P, this point P, this is Q, and this one is R. My angle of reference is point P. Then side opposite to this angle, which is B, will become perpendicular now. Agreed? Okay. Side adjacent to this angle, which is A, will become base now. And the remaining side, and the longest side, or you can say side opposite to 90 degree, will be hypotenuse. Done? Basic scenarios. Clear? Now, what Pythagoras theorem says, the hypotenuse square is equals to sum of the squares of the two other sides. hypotenuse square is equals to sum of the squares of the two other sides. Done? Any doubt over here? सबको clear है? Okay. Now, next part. Let's talk about three different scenarios under this right angle triangle. Three different scenarios. Scenario number one. This is a right angle triangle. This is P, this is Q, this one is R, and this is angle 90 degree. Okay. Now, in this case, suppose if angle P is 45 degree and angle R is also 45 degree, it will become an isosceles triangle. It will become an isosceles triangle. So we should know in a triangle, if two angles are same, then side opposite to those two angles should be same again. Okay. So if PQ is equals to QR, then definitely angle P will be equal to angle R is equals to 45 degree in case of right angle triangle, and this is your case number one. I hope you have an idea of it. Okay. This is your case number one. Now case number two. Let's talk about right angle triangle again. Let's talk about PQR again, and this angle Q is 90 degree. Clear? Now in this case, this is damn sure. This is right angle triangle. It's damn sure that PR gonna be the longest side, because this side is opposite to 90 degree and hypotenuse is the longest side. This is damn sure. Now, suppose in this case, PQ is less than PR. If PQ is less than PR, this side is less than this side, then what can you say about angle P and angle R? They're gonna be different, but is it like angle P is greater? Is it like angle P is lesser? Now, do remember, angle opposite to longest side is largest. Angle opposite to longest side is largest. Out of PQ and PR, which one is larger? Out of PQ and PR. Oh, sorry. I'm really sorry. It should be QR here. I'm really sorry. It should be PQ and QR here. Kindly correct this. Now, PQ and QR. So, out of P, I know PQ is less than QR. Then definitely, angle opposite to these side. Right? So, tell me, opposite to QR, which angle is present? Opposite to QR, which angle is present? Angle P. So, this angle P gonna be greater than angle opposite to PQ. Which angle is opposite to PQ? Angle R is opposite to PQ. So, this gonna be the statement here. Getting it? So, do remember, angle opposite to the largest side is largest in a triangle. See, it's a fact of a triangle, and this fact says angle opposite to largest side gonna be the largest angle. Now, I'm not talking about 90 degree. I'm comparing the remaining angles only. Okay. Now, it is damn sure that this 90 degree is the greatest angle and this PR is the greatest side. This is damn sure. Okay. But remaining two sides, we are talking about remaining two sides. So, remaining two sides, one is PQ and another one is QR. Now, I'm assuming that PQ is less than QR. I'm assuming it. So, if PQ is less than QR, then definitely angle opposite to PQ will be less than angle opposite to QR. So, angle opposite to PQ was angle R, and angle opposite to QR was angle P. So definitely this angle R gonna be less than angle P. And this both of these, okay, not both of these, one of them. Now, see, if both were equal, then angle has to be 45 degree. If both were equal, then angle has to be 45 degree. I hope this is clear. Now, out of angle R and angle P, angle R is less, then definitely this angle R gonna be less than 45 degree also. Is this clear, guys? Any doubt here? No? I hope this is clear. Can I erase this? See, इसको ना तुम एक तरीके से वो अज्यूम कर लो, लाइक स्प्रिंग बैलेंस अज्यूम कर लो. लाइक एक साइड आपने एंगल P रखा है, एक साइड आपने एंगल R रखा है. अगर साइडें इक्वल हुई तो दोनों 45 डिग्री 45 ग्राम बनेगा. अगर एक छोटा होता है तो एक नीचे जाएगा, एक ऊपर जाएगा. ठीक है. अब एक हल्का होगा, 45 से हल्का होगा. जो छोटा होगा वो 45 से हल्का होगा. उसके बेस पे मैं ये कह रहा हूं. इसका मैथमेटिकल एक्सप्लेनेशन थोड़ा लेंदी है, बट थोड़ा सा इस एग्जांपल से रिलेट कर पाओगे आप. जैसे जो एंगल देखो, एंगल P इज ग्रेटर देन एंगल R, तो डेफिनेटली एंगल P विल बी मोर देन 45. बैलेंस देखो ना. गेटिंग इट? आर यू एबल टू गेट इट नाउ? सो आई होप दिस सिनेरियो इज क्लियर टू एवरीबडी. नाउ वन मोर सिनेरियो, just for the sake of knowledge, okay, thanks, I don't know. Okay, so let's talk about this. See, this angle is 90 degree. Now again, the side opposite to 90 degree gonna be the greatest side. There is no doubt about it, है ना? Now we are left out with two sides. One is QR, another is PQ. Suppose if QR is less than PQ, then definitely angle opposite to QR, angle P will be less than angle opposite to PQ, which is R. This is gonna be the scenario. And over here, this angle P will be less than 45 degree also. This angle P will be less than 45 degree also. There is one more reason behind it. Can I erase it? I hope. Angle QR, if QR is smaller than PQ, then angle opposite to QR will be smaller than angle opposite to PQ. This is what I'm saying. Clear? Okay. So I hope these scenarios are clear to everyone. Pythagorean theorem and this one. Done? Okay, so we are ready for solving questions. So this is your type number 1, where you just have to tell the direction only. Just read it, and if you feel like you can handle it without pen or paper, go for it. South, southwest. Everyone is getting southwest. Yes, southwest is the right answer. Now, the one way of dealing with it is, like, first of all, you will assume this case and you will draw every given situation. For example, you may start like a man is facing west. So there is a man at the origin and this man is facing west like this. You can start with this, and then this man turns 45-degree clockwise. 45-degree clockwise. So if this turn 45-degree clockwise, then man will reach at northwest, and then 180-degree clockwise again. From here 180-degree clockwise means southeast, and afterward 270-degree anti-clockwise. 270-degree anti-clockwise, see, from southeast to northeast it is 90-degree, then northeast to northwest it is 90 again, okay, and then northwest to southwest, so 90 here, 90 here, 90 here, total angle is 270, and finally that man is at southwest. Now ऐसा किया था आपने, okay, there is one more way of dealing with it. See, rather than drawing all these stuff, we can conclude this thing mathematically also. How come? See, so what we gonna do, we will make a assumption here. That assumptions are, if you are going anti-clockwise or you are going left, it is one and same thing, yes or no? From a point, if you turn anti-clockwise, you turn left, it is one and same thing. So I'll assign a negative sign to values associated with these two. Okay. And if you are going clockwise or you are going right, it is one and same thing. So if somebody is taking a right turn or somebody is going clockwise, I'll take those values positive values. Clear? Now, so in the beginning, the man was facing west. In the beginning, the man was facing west. After that, the man turned 45-degree clockwise. So that is why plus 45. Okay. Then this man turned 180-degree clockwise. Then that is why plus 180-degree again. Because 45-degree clockwise, so positive change, 180-degree clockwise, so positive change, and finally 270-degree anti-clockwise, so minus 270. This calculation will give you the final movement. Solve this, it will give you minus 45-degree. Right? So what does it mean? It means with respect to this initial position, his net movement is 45-degree, negative 45-degree, meaning 45-degree anti-clockwise. So the man was facing west. So 45-degree anti-clockwise from west is southwest. Hence your answer is southwest. Is this clear to everybody? Any doubt here? So this is your first type. Can I erase it now? Okay. Hope this is clear to everybody. So go for this question now. West, right? I think we can calculate, we can solve this question, man, without pen or paper now. This is 270, this is left. So minus 270-degree, right? And then there is 180-degree right. So plus 180. Net movement is minus 90-degree. Net movement is minus 90-degree, meaningly minus sign, meaningly anti-clockwise. 90-degree anti-clockwise with respect to the initial position. So initial position was north. So with respect to north, 90-degree anti-clockwise is west. Answer should be option B. Is this clear? Now you can do this thing mentally as well, because values are not typical. 270 and 180, these are not typical values. You can subtract and add them in your head also. Am I clear, guys? Now try to solve this next question mentally. This one mentally, without pen or paper. And use minimum rough sheet, or use your pen minimum number of time. Southeast, you sure? Everyone is getting southeast. See, 90-degree clockwise, so positive 90. then 180 degree anti-clockwise, so negative 180, and finally 90 degree in the same direction meaningly anti-clockwise, so this is 90 minus again, so this negative 90, this positive 90 will get cancelled out. His net movement gonna be 180 degree anti-clockwise, so in the beginning he was facing northwest, so 180 degree anti-clockwise gonna be southeast. Answer has to be option B. Clear to everybody? Okay. Now try this one. Okay. Before solving this question, I have a question to all of you. Very basic question. Do you know what square is and what rhombus is? Okay. What is the similarity between a square and a rhombus? In both, all sides are equal. In both, diagonals bisect each other at 90 degree. Alright. Then what is the difference? Good. Good. The first difference is in square, every angle is 90 degree. Don't write it. We're going to discuss this thing in detail under the chapter of geometry. I'm just revising. I'm just telling you these things for now. Because it might possible some way down in any question we're going to use that concept. Might possible. Now, in case of rhombus, in case of square, diagonals are equal. But in case of rhombus, diagonals are not equal. स्क्वायर को अगर आप पिचका देते हो तो रोम्बस बनता है. स्क्वायर को इस कोने से पकड़ा, दूसरे कोने से पकड़ा और थोड़ा सा प्रेस कर दिया, यू विल गेट रोम्बस. ओके. नाउ ट्राई टू हैंडल दिस क्वेश्चन and tell me what will be the final shape in this question. What can you say about the final shape of this question? Square. Square. Because I'll tell you why. See, okay. Now, this is your choice how towards which direction, towards upward you want to assume east, towards downward you want to assume east, it is your choice. But what I have told you, if from a point, if I'm going forward, it means I'm going towards east, downward means south, upward means north, and backward means west. So I'll follow this scenario only. So a girl leaves from her home and she walks 30 meters in northwest. Let's say this is the point from where she has left. Let's say this is point A. Now from this point northwest, from this point directly upward is north, backward is west. So between this direction gonna be northwest. Am I clear? So this is the starting point. She went northwest. From this point, if we go straight upward, it's north. From this point, if we go straight backward, it's south. It's west. So between them, north and west. Okay. And what was this distance? This distance was 30 degree. Let's say this is point B. After reaching at point B, she is making a decision again. She is taking a turn again. So at this point, she is taking what turn? Southwest. She is going, so this was northwest. Now at this point, the girl is turning southwest, so it means the girl will go like this. This is southwest. This is 30. Am I clear? How come? See, assume that direction diagram at this point. So this is north, this is east, this is south with respect to B. With respect to V, this is east, this is north, this is west, this is south. So with respect to V, this direction gonna be southwest. Clear? Okay. Now after reaching at this point A, B, C, after reaching at this point, her next turn is in the southeast direction. Her next turn is in the southeast direction. So at this point, see, assume that direction diagram again. With respect to this point, this line is southeast. Okay, so this is southeast, and how much is the distance? 30, and she reached point D finally. Clear? Any doubt at any point, please ask, guys. Okay, now finally what you people can do is, see, this was northwest direction, this is southwest direction, so angle between both of these has to be 90 degree. Right? This angle has to be 90 degree because this is southwest, this is southeast. I told you the angle between the adjacent minor direction is 90 degree. Finally, now, so this is point A. From this point, okay, if I join point A and C, they will lie on the same line. They're gonna lie on the same line by symmetry. It is there because of the symmetry of the diagram, or because of the symmetry of the this particular shape. And finally, from D point, if she wants to go back to her initial point again, so from D, she is going like this. So with respect to point D, in which direction that lady is moving now? Northeast. So answer has to be option A. Now this was 30, this is 90, this is 90, so this has to be 90 again. Okay, so by geometry, if you pay attention, then this figure gonna be a square. This angle has to be 90 degree again. Clear? Any doubt, guys? So answer of this question has to be northwest or northeast. Okay. Try this one. We are not talking about distances yet. We are just concerned with the directions only, right? So first of all, learn how to draw the diagram. Okay, shall we discuss now, guys? See, first of all, C is in the west of B. C is in the west of B. How we gonna draw it? So in this case, our reference point is point B, because we are comparing of B. The point after of word gonna be the reference point always. So B is the reference point. So C is in the west of B. So let's say if this is point B, and from B if I go backward, it means I'm going westward. So this point is C. Let's say this point is C. Okay. Like this. This point is C. B and C done. Now read the next line. And southwest of A. Now tell me, which point is in the southwest of A? Is it B or is it C? Is it C or is it B? Okay. C is the right answer here. Why? Because यहाँ पे थोड़ा सा इंग्लिश ग्रामर है, right? Because थोड़ा सा इंग्लिश ग्रामर है. See, according to a grammatical rule, if and is present, then subject of the previous statement is also the subject of the next statement. So in the previous case, we were comparing with C. So definitely in this statement, the statement that is present after and, we should compare A with C again. Okay. Now, so C is in the west of B and southwest of A. C is in the southwest of A. Okay. Please, C is in the southwest of A. So I can reciprocate this statement. I can make a reciprocal statement of this. If C is in the southwest of A, then I can say A is in the northwest of C. This is one as same thing, right? So I can reciprocal this statement. So see, I have switched the position of A and C, then S, south must be replaced with north. Done, guys? So south, northwest of C. So this line, this dotted line representing points, this dotted line representing northwest of C. This dotted line represent northwest of C. Am I clear? And point A can lie anywhere on this line. Huh? A is in the northeast of C. Sorry, northeast. ये भी तो change होगा. बिल्कुल ठीक कह रहे हो. Absolutely correct. Northeast. Okay. So is this clear? This diagram. So see, this is northeast of C. So point A will lie somewhere on this line. But with the help of this one single statement only, I cannot definite the position of A yet. Okay. So just remember that A will lie somewhere on this line. The next line, D is to northwest of A. D is to northwest of A. We do not know the fixed position of A, so we cannot draw the position of D also, because position of D is dependent upon the position of A. I just know one thing, that A will lie somewhere on this line. So once A is fixed, I can fix D also. Okay. Now next line, and north of C. Which point is lying north of C? D. Point D is lying north of C. So this line, this dotted line, the second dotted line, this line indicates north of C, and point D will lie somewhere over here. Point D will lie somewhere over here. Okay. Now next, and see, D is to the northwest of A and north of C, and is in the line with AB. And is in the line with AB. It means, suppose point A is, this is point A. This is point A. Suppose, because I know point A will lie, A should lie on this line. Then point D is in the line of B. It means if you join this A and B, and if you expand this A and B in such a way that it got intersected with north of C, so this point gonna be the point D. Am I clear? Now I can say this point D is in the line with AB. Okay, so this is your diagram. This is your diagram here. Clear? Now, in which direction from the point A, B is located? So with respect to A, we want to find out the position of B. So with respect to A, this forward wise is east, this backward wise is west, upward is north, this downward is south. So this AB, this point B is lying between east and south, so it should be southeast. Option B should be the answer. Am I clear, guys? So I hope this construction of the diagram is clear to everybody. Although it is very easy for some of us, but might possible was bit difficult for some of you. So I hope this is clear to everybody now. Can I erase it? So if it is clear to everybody, then try this question. Northeast, southeast. Okay, now listen guys, let's start solving this question. I feel northeast is the right answer. Let's check it out. मैंने क्या निकाला है, कौन सा क्वेश्चन है ये? PQR ना, मैंने सॉल्व नहीं किया है. Northeast. Now listen, there are 4 towns P, Q, R, T. Q is to the southwest of P. Q is to the southwest of P. So पहले P को we gonna draw P first, because Q is to the southwest of P. So our reference point is point P. So southwest of P is this line, right? So on this line, point Q will lie. It can lie over here also, it can lie here also, it can lie here and anywhere. Done? Now the next, R is to the east of Q. R is to the east of Q. So let's say on this line, this is point Q, then point R must be east of Q. So then point R must lie on this line that originates from Q. Getting it? Okay. So R is to the east of Q. So R will lie somewhere on this line that originates from Q. Okay, this is done. But I cannot fix the position of R yet. Next thing is, R is to the east of Q and southeast of P. So with respect to Q, R is in the east, and with respect to P, R is in the southeast. So from P, southeast is this direction. So this point of intersection gonna be the point R. Clear? This R is east of Q and southeast of P. Clear to everybody? Now the next thing, and T is in the north of R. T is in the north of R. So this line is north of R. So point T will lie somewhere on this line. Clear? So T is to north of R in line with QP. In line with QP, meaningly, if you join this point Q and P and extend this line in such a way that it intersects the north of R, then this point of intersection gonna be your point T. Is this clear to everybody? Any doubt at any point, please ask. Now what we want to find out, in which direction of P is T located. So with respect to P, in which direction T is located? Northeast, so answer has to be option C. Clear to everybody? Okay. Can I erase it now? Huh? No. You need to understand the given statement and you have to draw the diagrams accordingly. Now this is a PYQ. UPSC CSAT. So a man walks down the backside of his house straight 25 meters, then turn right, walks 50 meter again, then he turns towards left, again walks 25 meter. If he's northwest, I am getting northwest. My answer is northwest. Let's now see, with respect to starting point. Now see, a man walks down the back side of his house. Back side, not west. It is not written west or it is not written east. In the beginning, in which direction that man is moving hasn't given to us. A man walks down the back side of his house. This is the only given statement in the beginning. So it might possible that his house is facing north, then he will go towards south. It might possible that his house is facing east, then he will go westward, or other possible scenarios. So we should know in which direction his house is facing. So read the question carefully and tell me, do we have any such kind of information? Yes. We know in which direction his house is facing. His house is facing east direction, then definitely in the beginning that person has went westward. So let's say this is point A. From point A, he went westward to reach at point B. And what was the distance traveled by him in the beginning? 25 meters is the distance traveled by him in the beginning. Agreed? Now, at point B, then turns to the right. At point B, that person has took a right turn. So right turn from point B, meaning a bird like this. At point B, person will be facing this west direction. From west, if you go north, if you go left, or if you go right, you will go towards north direction like this. And let's say you reached at point C. So how much is the distance traveled? 50 meters is the distance traveled. Done? Okay. After it, at point C, then he turns towards left. At point C, he has turned left, so he has gone towards west again. At point C, this is the direction which that person is facing, so left is gonna be like this. Right? Okay. And how much is the distance? This distance is 25 meters and he reached point D finally. Okay. Now, what is his direction from the starting point? So from the starting point, with respect to A, we want to find out this AD with respect to A. So with respect to A, this direction is northwest. Answer has to be option D. Okay. Now, what is the total shortest distance between A and D? What is the shortest distance between A and D? We can solve this question orally as well. We need to know a basic of geometry or basic of Pythagoras. Huh? 50? Somebody said yes, it is. It is good. 50 root 2. Now, I hope the answer of this question is clear. Northwest. Now, what is this distance? We want to find out distance AD. I want to find out this distance AD. So, do remember, whenever you want to find out any straight line distance in case of direction, you need to draw a right angle triangle. You have to draw a right angle triangle here. So, I can do a construction over here like this. From point A, from point D, draw a perpendicular. Let's say this perpendicular is intersecting this extended line AB at point E. So this angle has to be 90 degree, yes or no? Clear? Now, pay attention to right angle triangle. Now pay attention to right angle triangle right angle triangle DEA. Pay attention to right angle triangle. This is point D, this is point E, and this is point A. Right angle triangle DEA. I hope the triangle is visible to all. In this right angle triangle, now see one thing. AD is the hypotenuse. AD is the hypotenuse because AD is the side opposite to 90 degree, and in a right angle triangle, side opposite to 90 degree is hypotenuse. What about other two? DE. DE. The length of DE must be 50 meter. Because you have drawn a perpendicular from point D and C to B. This is again a perpendicular because north and west are perpendicular to each other. So this is 50, then this has to be 50. So DE is 50. Any problem? What about this EA? This EA has to be 50 again. Why? Because D to C, this distance is 25, then E to B, this distance has to be 25 again. So total distance from E till A, total distance is 50. Clear to everybody? Any doubt here? Now see, do remember, or now you can solve this question using Pythagoras theorem directly, or you can remember one thing, when two sides are equal, then hypotenuse is gonna be equal to root 2 into this side. Root 2 into this side. Otherwise, what else you can do? We know hypotenuse square, that is AD square, will be equal to sum of the squares of the two other sides. So DE square plus EA square. So AD square will comes out to be equal to DE was 50 square plus 50 square, EA was 50. So from here AD square comes out to be equal to 2 into 50 square. Now taking square root both sides, so AD will comes out to be equal to root 2 into 50. Clear? So in case of directions, try to draw a right angle triangle. You will get all the distances by using Pythagoras theorem only. Maximum question can be solved using Pythagoras theorem. Is this clear to everybody? Any doubt here, bachcho? See, it's a case of square. Remember this thing. Like, let's say this is a right angle triangle and this one is side A and this is also side A. Then the this hypotenuse gonna be equal to root 2a. Again, this derivation is from the Pythagoras theorem only. So in a right angle triangle, if two sides are equal, then hypotenuse of that right angle triangle is equal to root 2 into that side. Clear? It's a fact. If you can remember it, that is good. Otherwise, you can go by like this as well. Okay, so I hope this part is clear to everybody. Any doubt at any point? No. Okay, give me a second. It can be done now. Don't try this. Yeah, try this one. One morning after sunrise, Rita and Kavita were talking to each other face to face at Tilak Square. Right? If Kavita's shadow was exactly to the right of Rita, right, then which direction Kavita was facing? Mine answer was A, option A, north. अपना शैडो देखा है ना सबने? Okay, good. मेरा भी नॉर्थ है. Might possible that answer is wrong. Might possible. For solving this question, see, north. Yes, north is the right answer. Now, my request to all of you is, if there is a question on shadow, then solve that question using given option only. Rather than solving that manually, use options. Now listen. So this is east, this is north, west, and this one is south. So sun is in the east, so definitely it is sunrise, so definitely shadow will fall towards west, like this. This shadow will fall towards west, right? Now suppose if somebody is in the east direction, then there are two cases. Either his shadow will fall towards his back. If somebody is facing east direction, then his shadow will follow towards his west. It will not be on the right or left side of that guy. Getting it? If you are facing east direction, then your shadow will follow behind you. Your shadow will not be on the right side or will not be on the left side. Getting it? But in this case, shadows are on the left and right of somebody. So it means that person is not present, that person is not facing east, or that person will neither facing west also. So there are two cases only. So it might possible that one of them may face north and another person may face south, right? This person is facing south and this person is facing north. So definitely one of them has to be in the north and one of them has to be in the south, because shadow is falling on the right and left side of a particular person, and which is only possible if they are standing like this. Getting it? So option C cannot stand a chance here. Dead and educate cannot stand a chance here. Neglected, because we have all the given information. Now suppose Rita and Kavita are facing each other. Suppose Rita is facing south. And Kavita is facing north. This is assumption. So this is Kavita is facing north. So this is left hand side of Kavita and this one is right hand side of Kavita. Rita is facing south. So this one is right hand side of Rita and this one is left hand side of Rita. Now what is the condition given? If Kavita's shadow was exactly to the right of Rita. So if Kavita is facing the north direction, then this parallel lines are representing her reflection. So her reflection is in the left hand side of Kavita and her reflection is in the right hand side of Rita. So given condition are matched now. So answer has to be option A. Is this clear? See, Kavita is facing north direction. So her shadow will fall on this side. And this side correspond to left hand side of Kavita and correspond to right hand side of Rita. So in the question it is given that the shadow of Kavita is in the right of Rita. This is shadow of Kavita and it is in the right of Rita. So these drawn things are absolutely correct. So answer has to be option A. Is this clear, guys? Yes, bachcho? So these lines are representing shadow of Kavita. And these lines are in the right hand side of Rita. This is what given over here. Hence the answer is correct. Answer has to be option A, north. Clear to everybody? Okay. Then if it is clear, guys, try this one now. See again, Mohit's shadow was exactly to the right side. So shadow is falling right of a person or a left of a person, then definitely person are not standing in the east and west. They are standing north south to each other. Here, answer has to be south. South. Now see, this is north, this is south, this one is east, and this one is west. Now in this case, see, sun is in the west, sun is in the west, so shadow will fall towards east, shadow will fall towards east like this, right? And Mohit's shadow was exactly to his right. Mohit's shadow was exactly to his right. Suppose Mohit is standing here. Suppose Mohit is standing here facing south direction. Suppose Mohit is standing here facing south direction. Right, assume that his shadow will fall towards his left hand side, isn't it? But over here, shadow is falling towards his right. So it means Mohit is not facing south. Then second case, let's say Mohit is facing north direction. Let's say Mohit is facing north direction. If Mohit is facing north direction, then on the right hand side, I can see the shadow now. Okay. And we know that Mohit and Sumit, they both are facing each other. They are talking to each other. So if you talk to each other, you face each other. So if Mohit is facing north, then Sumit will face south. And what we want to find out? We want to find out the direction that Sumit is facing. Hence, answer is option B. Is this clear to everybody? मुझे आपको क्वेश्चन समझ नहीं आया. The things are almost same. Things are almost same. But in the previous case, shadow was falling towards west. And in this case, shadow is falling towards east. Everything else is same. The falling of shadow is the only difference. Am I clear, guys? Done? Okay, let's. अभी पता चलेगा कि इतना ही क्लियर हुआ है. Let me see. Tell me the answer now. I don't know. Yes. South. Everyone is getting south. Okay, let's discuss. See, suppose in a straight upright position. I don't know. Let's check it out. Let's check it out. Now see, if somebody is standing upright like me. See, and I'm facing you. So this is my right hand side. This is my left hand side. Now, if you make me upside down, then my left hand and right hand direction will got changed. See, in the upright, this is like I'm facing you people, right? I'm facing you people. Then this is my right hand side, and the other one is my left hand side. And if you make me upside down like this, these left and right will get interchanged. So this will become the right hand side, will become left hand side, and the left hand side will become the right hand side. This is the only difference. Okay. Now, suppose you were standing at this position in upright, position, in normal standard position. You were standing at this point, you are facing west in a normal way. If you are standing at this point, you are facing west in a normal position, then towards your right hand side, north will fall, and towards your left hand side, south will fall. Now, if you make this person upside down, then this right and left will get interchanged. Now, so this will become left hand side and this one will become right hand side if you make this person upside down. Now, these are the condition of the given question. Agreed? Yes, guys. So, what is the answer? In which direction will his left hand be? His left hand will be in the north direction. Agreed? हाँ, डायरेक्शन सेंस ही है, इतना कंफ्यूज क्यों हो रहे हो यार? Just the interchanging of hands is going on, nothing else, isn't it? See, I'm facing you people, so this is my left hand side, this is my right hand side. Make me upside down. Right is this, now left is this. Yes or no? Yes, sir. Agreed? Sure. Okay, let's see. Now try this question. It is a PYQ. I think it was there in 2020 or 21. Now be very careful here. See, pay attention to option A and option C. Everything is same except this less than or more than thing. Pay attention to option B and option D. Everything is same except this less than and more than. हाँ, 45 डिग्री नॉर्थ ईस्ट बी में भी है एंड डी में भी है. Wrong. थोड़ा सा गलती करती है, फिर से देखो कैलकुलेशन, क्योंकि अगर आप ऐसा कहते हो तो आप यूपीएससी को क्वेश्चन कर रहे हो. Okay, so but good, you said 45 degree north of east, so more than 90% your answer is correct. Still 5% or 10% is remaining, so I want that part to be correct also. And it might possible that my answer is wrong. A is not a possibility. Answer has to be one out of B and D. Let me give you this hint. Answer has to be one out of B and D. Less than is the right answer. Less than 45 degree is the right answer. Obviously, I gave you two options. 50-50 is done. So out of 50-50, one was wrong, another one has to. Yes, good. Now listen to me, guys. Listen, everybody. This question is not that difficult, but we have to be very careful with the things that we have learned in the beginning of the lecture. We should be little careful. Now listen. In this question, a woman runs 12 kilometers towards north. So let's say A was the point, and from this point she runs 12 kilometer north. So towards point B. So this is from a point, if you go upward, it means northward. Clear? Diagram. Now after it, what happened? That 6 kilometers towards south. From this point, he comes back 6 kilometers to south. So let's say From B point to C point, this is point C and this is 6 kilometer. So from C to A, this distance has to be 6 kilometer, yes or no? Because from B to C, this total distance from B to A, this total distance was 12. Agreed? Any doubt here? No. After it, at point C, what has happened? At point C, then 8 kilometer towards her east. From point C, she went 8 kilometer east. So let's say this is point. Her east. Towards her east. Towards her east. अगर आप टर्न करते तो क्या डायरेक्शन भी टर्न कर जाती हैं? इज इट लाइक दैट? है कि भाई ये ईस्ट है, सूरज कल तो उधर से उगेगा. इज इट लाइक दैट? जस्ट टेल मी वन थिंग, डायरेक्शन थोड़ा चेंज होगा, लेफ्ट राइट चेंज. यस, लेफ्ट एंड राइट हैंड्स के लिए होता है, बिकॉज अगर मैं इफ आई एम फेसिंग यू पीपल देन दिस इज माय राइट, दिस इज माय लेफ्ट. इफ आई गॉट टर्न्ड, huh? Just it's a very common sense, because see, if you turn towards left or you turn towards right, direction will not turn their sides, they will remain fixed. Okay, but your left and right will get changed. That is the only difference. So then 8 kilometer towards east, so it should be like this. This is point B. Now join this point A with point B. Now, in which direction is she from her starting point? So starting point was A. So with respect to A, you need to tell me what is this direction AB. Northeast. This is damn sure. Northeast has to be there. So neither option A nor option D nor option C stand a chance, because we are sure that answer has to be north of east. Is this clear? Now we need to find out the angle. We have to find out the angle now. For finding out angle, we need to make a construction here. This is the east side of A. Let's draw a perpendicular from point B. If you draw a perpendicular from point B, let's say this is B dash. More than, it has to be less than. Bache. Let's check it out. Let's check it out. Now let's check it out, guys. Listen. See guys, listen. Now, what is this distance BB dash? This has to be 6 kilometer. BB dash has to be 6 kilometer. And what about this AB dash? It has to be 8 kilometer. Now I can see, please pay attention to triangle B dash A. Now let me give you a way of writing things whenever you are using geometry. See, whenever you want to write down a right angle triangle, representation for a right angle triangle, do write the point, this point of 90 degree in the middle. This is the right representation or right way of writing the things. Okay, done. Now in this triangle B dash and A, in this triangle angle B dash is definitely 90 degree. So forget about this side AB. This is gonna be the largest side, hypotenuse. Now remaining two side, one of them is AB dash and its value is 8 kilometer, and another side is BB dash and its value is 6 kilometer. Now I can see AB, okay, I can see this thing that BB dash is less than AB dash. BB dash is less than AB dash. So definitely angle opposite to BB dash must be less than AB dash. So angle opposite to BB dash, angle opposite to BB dash is angle A. This angle A has to be less than angle B. Agreed? So this angle A has to be less than 45 degree. Right? So with respect to A, this line is, with respect to A, this line is less than 45 degree. Other part is more than 45. But we are looking for this. Oh, sorry. This with respect to A, we are looking for with respect to A. That is why this should be considered. कौन सा? With respect to A na, so this angle has to be considered and this angle is less than 45. With respect to A, now let's say if this is point A and then with respect to A, this is east direction. Now if you start turning from here, like if you turn left, then if you turn 45 degree, you will reach. This is what I have done here. Because we are doing everything with respect to the initial starting point. With respect to the starting point. So you will find out this turn with respect to the east direction of A. Yes. Are you getting this thing? Am I clear? Yes. Clear hai sabko? So because this answer, option B is the right answer because he said or examiner has told us to take this point A as the reference point. So you will calculate all the turns with respect to A. Is this clear to everybody? Any doubt here, guys? If it is mentioned in the problem. So it is mentioned that starting point, for starting point we need to assume frame like this. Okay. Yes. So whenever it is mentioned in the question, then you need to draw the direction diagram, or you have to assume that this point is the origin of direction diagram. Am I clear to everybody? Any doubt here, bachcho? No? Can I erase it now? See, in the beginning I've told you that I will use that standard direction diagram as the reference diagram for solving all the problems. Right? Can I erase it now, guys? Done? Now listen, see, next thing. This can be done now. Let it. Try this one. Again, it's a very easy question. Very easy. But since it was there in your previous year exam, so I want you to solve this. हंड्रेड नहीं आएगा किसी का आंसर अभी तक. हाँ 100. ये बहुत इजी क्वेश्चन है गाइस. व्हाट वी पीपल आर डूइंग. 100 है ना. See, assume yourself in the shoe of the person. Like assume, like you can assume like this is you. And do what question is telling you to do. You will get the answers. See, two friends X and Y starts running and they run together for 50 meters in the same direction. So let's say this is the point from where they have started, and they are running in the same direction. Now same direction is written, so it is your choice whether you want to go towards east, you want to go towards west, you want to go towards north. But if X is going towards north, then Y should go towards north. This is the only condition given. So let's say they both are going in the same direction, they both are going in the east, they traveled 50. After this they reached that point B. Once they reach that point B, X turns right and runs 60 meters. At point B, the X is turning right, so X will go down like this. And what is the distance traveled by X? The distance traveled by X is 60. This is 60. Let's say this point is D. At point B, the another person Y has turned left. So Y will go upward like this. And the distance traveled by Y is 40. And this point, let's say this is E. Done. After it, Y turns left and runs. Then X turns left and runs 50 and stops. At point D, after reaching point D, X has turned left. X will go like this. The distance traveled by X is 50 and he reached, let's say, point G. Let's say point G, and this distance is 50. Okay. And what Y has done after point E, what Y has done? After point B, Y has turned right and went 50 meters. From here, Y has went 50 meters. Let's say this is point I. So what is this distance Ij? This is what we are looking for. This has to be 100, no? 60 and 40. Clear, guys? It was a PYQ, that is why I want to discuss, but otherwise there is no need to discuss this. This is very easy. As long as I Now, can I erase this question, guys? Answer has to be, so from C, E and I, D and G, this is 50, this is 50, then this has to be 40 plus 60, which is 100. Clear? Now next. Give me a second. Yes, this is again a PYQ. Let's solve this question. Shortest distance. Do remember, guys, hypotenuse will not be the shortest distance always. It might possible that yeah, answer is 25. See, guys, again it's a good question. Let's solve this. A bank employee drives 10 km towards the south. So let's say from point A, bank employee has started and he has, or this guy has drive 10 km towards south. So this is the first construction. Clear to everybody? And turns to her left. At this point, the person has turned left, so person will go east like this. Again, that guy will reach point C. And what is the distance? 20. And finally, she turns left and drives 40 kilometers. He again turns left and drives 40 kilometers. So at point C, she has taken a left turn, meaningly going upward. And how much is the distance traveled by her now? The distance traveled by her is 40 kilometers. Okay. Next, then she turns to her right and drives for 5 kilometers. Then she turns to her right and drives for 5 kilometers. Turn from point D, turning right. How much? 5 kilometers. Done. And she again turns to her right and drives 30 kilometers. So at point E, she is turning right again and driving how much? 30. So point E, she is driving 30. Done? Okay. Now, don't you think this A and this final position F will lie on the same line? Construction wise, see, from C to D, this total distance was 40 kilometers. Forty was given, no. It was given. From C point to D point, this complete distance, C point to D point, this complete distance was 40. It was given. Now, she took right turn here, traveled 5 kilometers, and from point E, she is going 30 kilometers downward. 30 kilometers downward. So, if this is point, okay, so I'm writing DC 40 kilometers given here. Now let's say this is point K. So D point to K point, from E to F the distance is 30, then from D point to K point this distance has to be 30 again. And then from K point to C point, this is distance 30, this is distance 10, then from K point to C point, this distance has to be 10. Right? Now, from D to C, total distance 30 plus 10 is 40. All the conditions are matched. So, it means this point K, this point A and F, they must lie on the same line. Okay. Now, what we want to find out, the shortest distance between her bank and her house. Her house was at point A. Her bank is at point F. So, we want to find out this distance AF. So, A to K plus K to F. A to K plus K to F is the total distance AF. Right? A to K, then K to F. A to K, what is the distance from A to K? B to C and A to K is one and same thing, it is 20. So distance is 20 plus what is this distance K to F? D to E and K to F, 5. So answer has to be 25 kilometers. Option B. Am I clear, guys? So the construction is important here. So in these questions you will find triangles, you will find rectangles, squares, rhombus and all. Can I erase it now? Yes.
Even a little thing, मतलब कोई भी छोटी चीज जरूरत हो जाती है, then you go towards like फिर से पढ़ना पड़ता है question of it. Is there a way कि मतलब you know how to do this with efficiency? Because otherwise you know the question gets distorted and then
See.
And कमाल की बात क्या है, जो गलत आंसर हम ला रहे होते हैं वो ऑप्शन में भी होता है. चेक कर लो.
See, in the very beginning, I told you how to draw the diagrams. First of all, just draw those points whose position is fixed, whose position is definite according to you, or whose position is definite as per the given statement. That is why I use this is north of east and this is south of east. Then I told you to this should be the point of intersection and this has to be point D. So that thing, that construction thing has to be that should be clear in your mind. So I'm using that scenarios only everywhere. So first of all, I'll read a statement and then I'll draw that statement. And I will draw only those points whose position is fixed, whose position is definite. I will draw that point first, whose every single bit of piece is clear to me. Like this point is left of some other point, this point is north of some other point, this point is at a distance of 4 kilometers from some other point. So this is what you have to do, right? And secondly, whenever you are drawing a diagram, use one fixed frame of direction diagram. So every time, if I'm going forward, it means east. For me, it means east. If I'm going upward, for me, it means north. If I'm going backward, it means it is west. And if I'm going down, it means it is south. So every time while drawing it, I am assuming myself in the shoe of that person. And I'm doing whatever this question is telling me to do. If you do this, I feel like most of the time you will get the right diagrams. Okay, now let's solve this, or let's solve one more problem. See, yeah, try this question now. Again, it's a PYQ. A person is climbing a hill station in a straight path from point O on the ground in the direction of northeast. So from a point, consider yourself that you are climbing a hill, you are going northeast. So start drawing it like that. Yes, 13 has to be the answer. 13. Now, see guys, a person is climbing a hill in a straight path from point O. Let's say this is point O. From point O, a person is climbing the hill. Do we know the direction in which that person is going? Yes, it is written in the statement itself, northeast direction. So with respect to this point, this line has to be northeast, isn't it? Agreed or no? Okay. So with respect to point O, this line has to be northeast. So direction, it is given and reaches point A. So let's say this point is point A. Now after traveling a distance of 5 kilometers, this distance from O to A is 5 kilometers. Next point is, then from point A, he moves to point B in the direction of northwest. Now point of reference is point A. So from point A, he is going northwest. He is going northwest. So northwest from point A gonna be like this. This line. So from point A, this is north, this is east, this is west, this is south. So from point A, this line is northwest. Getting it? Now next is he moves to point B in the direction of northwest. Let's say this point is B. Let the distance AB be 12 kilometers. So A to B, this distance is 12 kilometers. A to B, this direction was northwest, and from O to A, direction was northeast. So this is the diagram. Any doubt, guys? Any point which is not clear? Clear to everybody? Now, at this point, now finally what we want to find out, now how far is the person away from the starting point? Starting point was O. From O to A, O to B. From O to B is what we want to calculate here. Now tell me, what about this angle? What will be the measure of this angle? It has to be 90 degree. Yes or no? So if it is 90 degree, then triangle triangle OAB has to be a right angle triangle. This is B, this is O, this is angle A. This angle has to be 90 degree because this angle is between northwest and northeast, two minor adjacent directions. So angle has to be 90 degree. So this is a right angle triangle. Now in this right angle triangle, side opposite to 90 degrees hypotenuse. So this OB is the hypotenuse. This OB is the hypotenuse. Clear? Now, in a right angle triangle, if we use Pythagoras theorem, it says the square of the hypotenuse is equal to the squares of these, is equals to the sum of the squares of the two other sides. So two other side of this triangle, one side is OA and another side is AB. So do this. OA square means 5 square and AB square means 12 square, and this is equals to OB square. Now if you solve this from here, OB will comes out to be equal to 13. So answer has to be option B. Clear? Done? Now let me give you one more way of finding out the third side in case of a right angle triangle. Now out of 5 and 12, which one is the smallest side? 5. Take 5, do the square of it, you will get 25. Do the half of 25, you will get 12.5. Now to nearest integer to 12.5, one is 12 which is already given, another one is 13. This is your answer. So this is one more way of dealing with it, but if you want to write it down, we're gonna teach you this thing in the geometry also, so don't worry. It's a simple way of calculating sides in case of right angle triangle. I hope this part is clear. Why 13 is, this construction is clear to everybody. Can I erase it now? Give me a second. Yeah, try this one. Again a PYQ, it's a easy question, I feel. See, this question of direction is a doable question in the examination. Answer is 5. Right? So my request to all of you is कि पेपर में ना ड्रॉ कर लो, spend some time, क्योंकि इसका आंसर आ ही जाएगा for sure. Because the level of difficulty of reasoning is not that high. Till 2023 it was not that high. Might possible that in upcoming exam they will increase the difficulty level, might possible, but still 5 is the answer. Now see, what you people can do is, a person walks 12 km due north. So let's say that person has started from point A, it went 12 km north like this. So that person reached point B. From point B 15 km due east. From point B 15 km due east. So let's say he reached point C, right? And then after that 19 km due west. From point C, if we go 15 km west, we will reach point B, and 4 km more, we're gonna reach point D. So from C, point D is 19 km west. See, after reaching point C, that person has went 19 km due west. So from point C due west, From point C due west 19 kilometer is point D. So from C to B distance was 15, then definitely from B to C distance has to be 4 kilometer. Is this clear to everybody? Now, then 15 kilometer due south, the person is at point D. From point D, 15 kilometer due south. Now, it is quite obvious from here that A to B it was only 12 kilometer, then the final point must be below this point A, because this distance is 15 and this distance is 12. Clear to everybody? Now finally, how far is he from the starting point? So starting point was A and the final point is E. So we want to find out this AE distance, right? Let's draw a perpendicular from point A. If you draw a perpendicular from point A, let's say this point is K. So this angle has to be 90 degree. What we have done, we have drawn a perpendicular from point A to this side DE. So this angle has to be 90 degree. Perpendicular ka matlab 90 degree. Now let's talk about this triangle. In this triangle, what is this distance KA? 4 kilometer. What is this distance KE? This distance KE must be 3 kilometer, yes or no? Why? Because from D to E, this complete distance was 15, right? B to A is 12, then definitely D to K has to be 12. Because ये जो constructions यहाँ बनती हैं, most of the time those constructions are rectangles or squares. In rectangles, opposite sides are equal. In square, all sides are equal. So if this was 4 kilometer, this has to be 4 kilometer. If this is 12 kilometer, this has to be 12 kilometer. So from D to K, the distance is 15. From D to K, the distance is 12. From D to C, total distance was 15. So this remaining distance has to be 3 kilometer. Done. Now let's talk about this right angle triangle. Let's talk about this right angle triangle AKE. Done. Out of 3 and 4, which one is smaller? 3. Do the square of 3. 9. Do the half of 9. 4.5. The nearest integer to 4.5. One is 4, another one is 5. So 4 is already given, so remaining side has to be 5 kilometer. Otherwise, you can use the Pythagoras theorem here. Clear to everybody? Now, do remember this is a trick. So every trick has a limitation. Okay. So mark it. Till now, I have calculated all the other side for this value, and this value was odd. In the previous case, I took the odd value. Over here, this value is again odd. So this trick is applicable. Okay. Now, I hope this is clear. Construction is clear. Okay. This is a PYQ. Try to handle it. It was there in very beginning, I think 2014 or 2013. The houses of A and B face each other on a road going north-south. अपसाइड डाउन क्वेश्चन क्लियर था वो सबको? upside down. Okay, there is a doubt. I'll discuss that doubt in the end. No. C and D, we are talking about C and D. A and B can live on same street. How we can say that? See, whenever we talk about streets, no, whenever we talk about streets, so these are streets, right? Now let's say this A is person A, this is person B, so they are living in the same street. If person A is over here and person C is over here, then I cannot say they are living in the same street, isn't it? If they are living diagonally, see, I'm just giving you an example कि मैं कब ये कहूंगा कि सेम स्ट्रीट में रहते हैं और सेम स्ट्रीट में नहीं रहते हैं. Yes, answer has to be option C. Let me give you the reasoning behind it. Everybody, please be very careful. See, listen. In question, examiner is talking about C and D. In question, examiner is talking about, in option, examiner is talking about C and D. But in the question, we have information about A and B, not C and D. In the question, we have definite information about A and B, not C and D. Are you getting this thing? Now read the question. The houses of A and B face each other on a road going north-south. So there is a road and this road is going north. This road is going north-south. And the house, and on this road, on the opposite side of this road, houses of A and B are there and they are facing each other. A is being on the western side. So see, I am taking that very first diagram as the reference diagram. Upward north, downward south, eastward, forward east and backward south. So if this is north, this is south, then this has to be west. So house of A is somewhere over here. Let us assume. And house of A and B are facing each other. So if house of A is on the west side, then house of B must be on the east side. Right? You can draw A over here and B over here also. That is your choice. On the road, see, this is the street, then this is north, this is south, then this one is the house of A and this one is the house of B. You can draw it like this also. Choice is yours. So मैंने इसको just थोड़ा सा draw इसलिए बाहर किया because I have to do the construction of C and D also. Okay, so both are okay here. Both are okay. But if you go for proper town planning, then this is perfectly fine. Proper town planning is this, right? Okay, now let's talk about this scenario. Now what examiner is saying, A comes out of his house, turns left. A comes out of his house, turns left. अपने घर से बाहर आया, left लिया. Agreed? A comes out of his house and he has taken a left turn. So he'll go upward like this. Right? Okay. Now, so how much is the distance traveled by A? The distance traveled by A is 5 kilometers. So this distance is 5 kilometers. After it, what has happened? He took a right turn. He took a right turn. So right turn gonna be like this. And travels 5 kilometers to reach in front of D's house. Proper town planning के according तो यही कर सकता हूँ ना. Now, मैं actually I think this is more relatable. मैं उसको इसलिए avoid कर रहा हूँ. No issues. I'll solve this question using this as well, but try to understand this because this is the street now and houses of A and B are facing each other, so this has to be there, right? Now, done? Okay, what next? B does exactly the same and reaches the front of C's house. So B comes out of his house, then he has taken a left turn like A. So B will go downward, and after that B has taken a right turn, so he will go like this, and he will reach in front of C's house. So from this point to this point the distance is 5 km, and from this point to C this distance is 5 km again. Agreed? Any doubt, bachcho? Now what we want to find out? Yes, see, now according to this, in this context, which one of the following statement is correct? Now this is one of the context. It might possible that B and D they lie on the same line. Might possible. अगर कंस्ट्रक्शन ऑफ हाउस का बात करें तो इट माइट ऐसा भी तो हो सकता था कि D जो है वो B से थोड़ा सा पीछे हो. Might possible, no? Am I clear, guys? So see, so statement 1 does not stand a chance here. Why? Because we do not know the exact distance between A and B. And it is not mentioned over here that all houses are lying in the same line. Not mentioned. Nothing like this has been given to us. Right? Getting it? So it might possible that the house C is after A, over here, somewhere over here. And house of D is after B, somewhere over here. So in that scenario, the houses of D and C will be diagonally opposite to each other. Now when houses are diagonally opposite to each other, we don't say they lie on the same lane. Getting it, guys? Or they lie on the same street. So option A is not the right answer here. Is my reasoning okay to everyone? Okay. Now C's house faces south. Again, we do not have any information regarding in which direction the house of C is facing. Right? Okay, so this is my way of dealing with it, है ना? और अगर इस context को, इस possibility को, if we consider this possibility, then according to this possibility, the house of C. Now, if this person has taken a left turn, then a right turn, then house of C must face the east direction. According to this possibility, house of C must face the east direction. Not standard chance, like we are not sure about it. Now, what about this option C? The distance between C and D is what we want to calculate. So, this distance is what we want to calculate. So, for calculating this distance, we have to do a construction like this here. This was point D, this was point C. So I need to make a construction here. I have to create a right angle triangle here. So this is the right angle triangle. This is 90 degree. Agreed, bacho? Now tell me one thing. From point D to, let's say this is point K. What is this distance from D to K? What is this distance? It is 10, because A and B were facing each other. A has gone 5 km up, B has gone 5 km down. So this distance is 10 km. Right? What about this distance between C and K? How come? If A and C, they lie on the same street. If A and C, they lie on the same street, then I can say this angle is 5 km. This distance is 5 km. If now, so according to this, if you are taking this distance as 5, then according to you, this has to be true. Option A has to be true again. If you are taking this distance to be 5, then option A has to be correct also. Getting it, guys? In this question, we do not know the exact distance between A and B, or you can say we do not know the proper positioning of the every house. So अगर मुझे ये डिस्टेंस ही नहीं पता है तो हाउ कम आई विल कैलकुलेट दिस डिस्टेंस? हाँ, this is one street, no? Huh? So see, if you are taking this distance between this point and K point to be 5 kilometer, so this is only possible when this B and D, they lie on the same line, or I can say this D, B, A, C, they all lie on the same street, just opposite to each other. That is only possible a distance of 5 kilometer. Guys, getting it now? So since I am sure about that this small distance is 5 kilometer, but what about this smaller part? We don't have any information about this smaller part. So until or unless I don't know the distance between A and B, the exact distance between A and B, I cannot find out the exact distance between C and D. Now, how I can say this distance? How, like, why? Any reasoning? Somebody said option C is correct here. How come I say this distance will always be less than 20? Huh? अगर assume करें तो according to that तो दो आंसर possible है. दो आंसर कैसे पॉसिबल हो सकते हैं यूपीएससी में? सो व्हाट आई फील, this answer of this question has to be none of the above, because distance is not given, but still I am open to your reasoning as well. Why? Because the answer of this question, the answer as per the key given was option C. So मैं ये तो तब सेटिस्फाई कर रहा है जब मुझे पता है कि C and A they lie on the same line. So अगर ये सेटिस्फाई करेगा तो दो आंसर आएंगे, A और C दोनों ठीक होगा, बिकॉज तभी पॉसिबल होगा ये कि लेस देन 20 किलोमीटर आएगा, तभी पॉसिबल, अदरवाइज पॉसिबल ही नहीं है. Now see, like let me give you one more reasoning here. See, now this is A, this is B. Let's say this is A and this is B. The street is very like broad. Let's say the distance between the street, the distance between the opposite ends of the street is 10 kilometer. Suppose this distance is 10 kilometer. It was not given, but let's say it is 10 kilometer. Now A comes out of his house. He has taken a left turn. So let's say he has taken a left turn. So he went like this. Went 5 kilometer and then 5 kilometer again and reached in front of B's house. Okay. B comes out of his house, took a left turn, went 5 kilometer, then went 5 kilometer again. Now, over here we have C. Now tell me, what is the distance between D and C as per this construction? 10. So this condition is again justified. Condition number 3 is again justified. And condition number A is also justified. They lie on the same street. Because the street is this. A and B lie on the opposite sides of the street, no? So, see, I am very open to ideas. So I have given you my reasoning. But let me tell you, as per UPSC, answer was option C. Just think, if you feel like you have a stronger argument, I would love to listen. Do discuss that thing with me. Okay, so I'm leaving the remaining part to you, but according to me, answer has to be none of these, because different answers are possible for different constructions, because we do not know the exact distance between A and B. Agreed? Okay.
D and E का जो distance वो 10 है, और जो ए ने लेफ्ट राइट ए और बी ने लेफ्ट टर्न किया उनका 5 है उस केस पे 20 हुआ टोटल.
हाँ तो so different like syllogism we have different possibilities. As per different possibilities different answers are possible, but the true answer is one which is true in every case. Don't you think so? So until or unless you don't know the distances between the house of A and B, you cannot find out that diagonal distance. That is it. Okay, I'll talk about this question after this class, but I have given you the my reasoning. I have given you the various way of thinking about this problem. है ना? Okay, okay. Just please. I'll discuss this question now later on because I have given you the my reasoning. Okay. Huh?
Then what do you think should be the right?
More than 10 kilometer apart than option D. That is what I'm saying. No.
Because in that case, एक जो मैं लिखने
See,
10 go to
the exact answer is possible only when we know the exact distance between A and B. Otherwise, we have lot of possibilities. So since we have lot of possibilities, that is why I'm going with option D. Yes, this is the only reason. Now, okay, give me a second. Let me think. Try this one. And there is one more question, one more controversial problem I have with me. It is from recently conducted BPSC exam. I'll post that question to you in the group. You you gave me the reasoning. You solved it by using different technique now. 5.34. Okay. So in that case, your x and y's are equal, no? So x comes out to be equal to 1 upon root 2, then you solve that lengthier calculation. Huh? BPSC, recently conducted BPSC. Bihar Public Service Commission. They have some good quality of problems in their pre as well as in their mains. Do appear for that, guys. Not as large as UPSC, no.
UPSC for India.
If you are daring to appear for this exam like UPSC, then why not BPSC? Okay, guys, let's discuss this case. 2, option B. Yes, option B is the right answer. Now listen to me, guys. Point A is 8 meter north of B. So north of B, so you will draw point B first. Reference is point B and A is 8 meter north. So A gonna be like this, 8 meter north. Agreed? Now point B is 10 meter west of C. So 10 meter west of C, so point C must be in the east of B, so this distance has to be 10. Point B is 10 meter west of C. Point B is 10 meter west of C. Clear? See, if point B is 10 meter west of C, then I can make a reciprocal of this statement. I can reverse this statement. I can say C is 10 meter east of B. This is what I can say. If B is 10 meter west of C, and if I change the subject and object, then C is 10 meter east of B. West will become east. This is what I have done here. Clear, guys? B, option B. Now point C is 11 meter north of D. North of D. So point C is above D. Point C is above D. So 8 meter north of. So this is point D and this is 11 meter. Point C is 11 meter north of point D. Clear? Okay. Now point F is 4 meter north of point E. Now I don't know where, I don't know the position. I haven't drawn the position of F yet. I haven't drawn the position of E yet. So leave this part of the given question for a while. Now read the next statement carefully. 4 meter north of point E, which is 6 meter west of D. So this point E is 6 meter west of D. So point E is 6 meter west of D. So point E must be like this, and this distance is 6 meter. Clear? Now I know the position of E, then I can draw the position of D or F also. So F is 4 meter north of E. So 4 meter north of E gonna be like this. This is point F. Okay. Now point T is 4 meter north of point C. Point T is 4 meter north of point C. Done. And finally, we want to find out distance AT. So we want to find out this distance. So यहाँ पे we don't need to draw the this C, D, E and F part. It was not required at all. So this was superfluous information. Now, okay, this is clear to everybody. Now let's talk about this case. We want to find out AT. So if we want to find out AT, let's say this is point K. So if T to C is 4 meter, then K to B must be 4 meter and A to K must be 4 meter. Agreed? Okay. And B to C was 10, then K to T has to be 10. Now paying attention to right angle triangle AKT. Right angle triangle AKT. Now let's talk about this. So AT square, hypotenuse gonna be AT. AT square is equals to AK square plus KT square using Pythagoras theorem. AT is the hypotenuse, point K is 90 degree, AK square plus KT square. So AK square meaningly 4 square and KT square meaningly 10 square. It is 116. So AT comes out to be equal to root 116, and if you solve this further, so 116 is 29 into 4. Square root of 4 is 2, so 2 root 29 is your answer. Option B is your answer. Clear? Agreed, everybody? Any doubt? Okay. I hope this 2 root 29 is clear to everybody. Any doubt here? अभी बताता हूं मैं. लो, क्वेश्चन पढ़ो ना, ऊपर 1 मिनट आएगा क्वेश्चन. बाय मिस्टेक मैंने जल्दी से ना दूसरे क्वेश्चन पे स्विच कर दिया था. So there were two questions, they were having same statements. So by mistake I switched to the next question first. Now ये बनाना पड़ेगा, नहीं होगा. F to B का डिस्टेंस निकालना है. This was the first question and the next one that we solved in the beginning was the second question. There were two parts, so by mistake I went to that part first. So yes. Now tell me what is the distance FB. यही डायग्राम वापस बनेगा. See, you have to draw this very same diagram again, but over here we want to find out the distance between F and B now. So we are looking for this distance, F and B, this distance. So draw a perpendicular from point F to BC. From point F to BC, this angle has to be 90 degree. Right? None of the above has to be the answer now. Let's say this point is point R. This point is point R. Done? Now B to C. B to C was 10 meter. B to C was 10 meter. Then what about B to R? What about B to R? See, B to C is 10 meter. E to D is 6. Then R to C must be 6. So this remaining must be 4. So B to R must be 4. Clear? What about this F to R? F to R. Now, see, we want to find out F to R. So see, C to D is 11. C to D is 11. Then R to E must be 11. Now E to F is 4, then F to R must be 7. Clear? Now applying Pythagoras theorem on the right angle triangle BRF. Pythagoras theorem on the right angle triangle BRF. So it comes out to be equal to BF square, right? Because 90 degree के opposite, the side opposite to 90 degree is hypotenuse. So BF is hypotenuse. So BF square is BR square plus FR square. So BR square meaningly 4 square and FR square meaningly 7 square. So BF comes out to be equal to 16 plus 49. Root 65. Answer has to be D. Is this clear, guys? Any doubt? पक्का? FR7 कैसे होगा? See, C to D it was 11. Then R to E has to be 11. Then F to E is 4. So F to R 7. Agreed, everybody? Any doubt here, बच्चों? No. Okay. So let's do an interesting case here. Let's mix clocks with directions. Now be very careful. See, it's a 3 o'clock in our watch. If minute hand point towards the northeast, then our hand will point towards karo. Now remember, आप घड़ी को मोड़ सकते हो, यहाँ पे डायरेक्शन वैसे ही रहेंगे. Right? Directly more than like see what has happened here in the question number 1. Let's say this is east direction, north, south and west. Now what this question is saying, it is 3 o'clock in a watch and minute hand points towards the northeast. So northeast, so this is northeast. This is northeast and over here we have 12 o'clock, right? Because at 3 the minute hand will point towards 12. Agreed? So as per this, minute hand is pointing towards northeast. It means in the northeast, over here in the northeast we have 12. Clear? Getting it ki nahi? Huh? See, if minute hand point towards northeast, the situation of घड़ी उतारना जरा, मैं समझाता हूं ना हुआ वो क्या रहा है. It's घड़ी घूम रही है ना यहाँ पे, nothing else. See, try to understand. Let me draw the scenario of 3 o'clock. What happened? I just want to tell you one thing. See, the minute hand is pointing towards north, pointing towards north, meaning in the north we have this digit 12. Then what about this digit 3? Because angle is 90 degree, so this digit, so this should be 3, no? Because at 3 o'clock, minute hand is pointing towards 12, hour's hand is pointing towards 3, and I know the angle at 3 o'clock is 90 degree, and this direction is northeast, then this direction has to be southeast because angle between northeast and southeast is 90 degree. Agreed बच्चों? Clear है सबको? Try the second one. See,
towards northeast direction.
thinking तो कैसे भी हो सकती है, but what I'm trying to do every time, see guys, I'm keeping my frame of reference constant. Upward is north, this side is east, that side is west. I'm just keeping that frame of reference same and I'm moving the everything else that is with me. East, let me see, आंसर इसका तो मेरा कुछ और आया है. Okay. Now see, I am holding this, like these are the, let me draw a bigger direction diagram, so we will have a more clarity. I hope this first one is clear. See, this is east, north, I think south है ना, हाँ, south, west, this is northeast, the actual northeast, the actual southeast, the actual southwest, the actual northwest, right? So right now the clock is like this. The minute hand of the clock is pointing towards northeast and it is 3 o'clock in the clock, and then hour's hand must point towards southeast. So answer of question number 1 has to be southeast. Now this clock is rotated, right? By how many degrees? 135 degree in which direction? Anti-clockwise. So if you move it like this, now this has been turned by 135 degree. So it was like this. If you turned it by 90 degree, the 12 of the clock will be towards northwest. Now move it like 45 degree more. So if you do this now, then the digit 12 of the clock will be in the west direction. Right? Now in this scenario, we have to draw the situation of 8:45. So if you do that, 8:45. Now, this is 8:45. Tell me in which direction this minute hand is pointing? South? Getting it? अभी समझ आया? Is this clear, guys? So, see, visualizing thing is bit difficult, so I use this prop with me. This is my favorite one. Okay, so I hope this case is clear. So answer of the second question has to be south. Agreed, everybody? Now, okay. Try this one. Okay, take it as a homework because I know you have a lot of problems like doubts today. So I have given you two homework this time. The one is that question. A and B, na? They were lying, C and D are lying on the same lane. Give me a good reasoning. Right? Second question is this. Try this one. Okay. So guys, this is it for the day. Now I request you to solve the assignment of the booklet first. I'll share this PPT as well. So I request you to solve the assignment of the booklet first. Right? And if there be any need, I'll provide you one more assignment. But see, from this question, right from the beginning till now, hardly there are 5 to 6 problems. So all the problems, all the variation has been discussed with you in this class. And if there are some more variation, then you will find those variation in the workbook. So solve them. Okay. I'll share this PPT and this is one more PYQ. Again, it is the easier one. Okay. Now, there was a doubt from the online class in the question of that upside down. Anna? Upside down. Where is that question? So those who wants to leave, they can leave. If somebody have doubt, they can stay. This is it for the day. Thank you guys. For offline student, it is over. Now, those who were having doubt in this question, they can still listen to me. Listen, in this question, what I was saying is, if in this simple upright position, if I'm facing you, then this is my right hand side and this is my left hand side. So this is the standard position. So right now I am standing upright. So this is my right hand side and this is my left hand side. Okay. And if you make upside down, if you make me upside down, then my left and right hand sides will get interchanged with each other. So this will become left hand side and this will become right hand side. Done? Okay. Now, finally, north, east, south, west. The person was facing west direction. Now assume that the person is in the simple upright position. The person is in the simple upright position and that person is facing west. Assume yourself that you are standing at this point here and you are facing west. Then this is your right hand side and this one is your left hand side. Simple upright position. Then towards your right hand side north will come and towards your left hand side south will come. But in this particular case, you are not standing simply upright. You are standing upside down. So if somebody is standing upside down, so this left and right will get interchanged. So this will become left hand side and this will become right hand side. If you are standing upside down, so left and right will get interchanged. And finally, we want to find out in which direction the left hand is. So left hand is in the south direction. Answer has to be option B.